Yeah, so it's fall break, and just piggybacking off of that right there with our Paul journey, we've got two events, one yesterday, one today, and always good to see our guys come back yesterday with Andre Branch and Jarvis Jenkins here, along with Dalton Freeman and Courtney Brown. They did a really good job, kind of our NFL transition type, and then today's what we call ball to bag, and we got another great group coming in here today, so fun to see those guys and spend some time with them yesterday. But as far as where we are right now, obviously coming off a very tough weekend, difficult weekend, but at the end of the day, I'm proud of our guys. Hey, we won 14 in a row, and it's hard to do. And it didn't go our way the other night. Give Notre Dame credit again for that. Certainly very, very disappointing because we definitely missed an opportunity for sure. But proud of the guys that have been a part of this for over two seasons here to win 14 in a row. I think that's the third longest streak in the history of our school. We've had another one, 17 in a row, 29 in a row. And we've had those streaks because we've just responded, and we've always gone back to work. And so good news is we missed an opportunity, but we got another opportunity this week, and that's the good news for us. Also, we're a better team, certainly, than what we played the other night. We're 8-1, not 5-3. And every goal we have is intact. There's our goals are simple, and they're very simple. And every time we've hit all those goals, we've either won the national championship or we've had some kind of amazing year. And so there's not anything that we strive for every single year that's not attainable to this team. We've won the opener. We can win the division. We can still win this state championship. We can still win this league, and we can still win the closer. So there's not anything. There's only one thing that's off the table for us, and that's being undefeated. That ain't going to happen. But there's very few teams that are ever undefeated. There's been one in the NFL since 1972, and I think there's only been 6 in 10 years in the college football. It's hard, and we've been one of them. It's hard to do. It's hard to win every game. You want to win every game. You don't want everyone to lose. But man, it's all about responding and just getting back to work. And that's what our guys did. Is a tough couple of days. Our job, when we fail in front of the world, and that's a tough thing, especially when you're dealing with young people. So it was a long Sunday and a long day yesterday. Mental Monday, get your mind right. Let's refocus. Again, with the right perspective, take ownership, learn from it, and let's grow from it, and then you get back to work. That's what winners do. That's what competitors do. And again, that's why we've been so consistent and successful around here for a long time. And you respond. And I loved how our guys responded yesterday and the staff on Sunday. So, again, back to work, and, again, another opportunity this week and another big challenge. It's a good football team that we're getting ready to play. These guys, they're a fast, physical team. They're a veteran team on both sides of the ball. Seems like we're playing a lot of those type teams. And they've won 4 in a row, so they're really confident. It's a confident bunch. They've got 3 losses, but winning makes you forget about that, quickly. You can even look at the national scene. You got people on the national scene with some really bad losses, but people forget about those things when you win. So winning is a key thing, and these guys are very confident because they put 4 good ones in a row together, and they're playing well. Offensively, they're balanced, they're explosive. This quarterback is special. He's a very dynamic player. I mean, he's a problem, and just a guy I got a lot of respect for. He's a great competitor. 3 really good running backs, just like last week. Very veteran offensive line, good receivers, another good tight end. But I think the balance that they have creates the explosiveness, especially with the quarterback, running the show back there. Veteran guy. That obviously is, again, really, really dangerous. And then defensively, very aggressive, veteran group, second in the nation in sacks. I think they're, right there in the top 10 or so in TFLs. They're second in the nation in takeaways, or maybe lead the nation at this point. They got a bunch of turnovers that they've created. So it's a good football team, and for us, definitely have to get back on track. Number one thing for us, we got to take care of the ball. That's just first and foremost. That's the number one thing in our plan to win. And we did a really good job of that for 7 games. We had 3 turnovers in 7 games. And we've had 6 in 2. So not real complicated. You're going to struggle when you do that, and you're going to miss a lot of opportunities. So we've got to correct that first and foremost, get back on track, and then just respond in all areas. Like a good team does, and that's the expectation. Again, last time we lost a game, we went on a 14-game winning streak. And unfortunately, that ended the other night. So the goal is to try to start another one on Saturday. And it'll be a great day, 3:30 game, military appreciation, always a special time. And look forward to another opportunity. Questions?
In assessing the game and the obvious things you mentioned afterward, but just kind of looking at the film, were there some things that you saw that just further jumped out at you about the lack of execution, or just
physically got our butts kicked? It's real simple. It is. They just we did a lot of technical things wrong too, but didn't take care of the ball. They block a punt on the opening possession. On the most basic thing that you could ask, and we don't do it. And momentum, turnovers. It's hard to turn that on the road, And again, I'm proud of our guys, though. I mean, listen, we're 4-1 on the road this year. We didn't go undefeated on the road. We gave it all we had. We had a bad night, but we're 4-1 on the road, and we're 8-1 on the season. So that was a one to forget. And the good news is we know we're better than that, but we did not play well, and we didn't do much well at all. But they just played better, coached better, physically won the game. And we just didn't do what we needed to do. A lot of missed opportunities, big missed opportunity, but that one's over. It's about this one coming forward.
You went into the Notre Dame game saying DJ's my guy, he's going to play his best game. Syracuse, it was just a hiccup. How do you frame the quarterback situation now that you have another 60 minutes of
Yeah. Well, he played his worst game against Syracuse for sure, and he played well up to that. He's played well. I mean, again, the reality is we won 14 in a row. He was starting quarterback for every single one of them, and he's 19-5 as a starter. So he had his worst game, and he did not play well at Notre Dame. He played better, but he didn't play well. But he can't punt protect, and he don't stop the run. And but I do like how he finished the game. I loved how he finished the game. I love how he competed, and that's why the team loves him, because that's who he is. And so, but he's got to play. He'd be the first one to tell you. I mean, he's got to play better, and he's got to get back on track to how he played the first 7 games. And that's just the reality of the situation. I mean. He's got to be accountable to that, and he is. And watched every play with him, and he knows what he's got to do better. And he doesn't play better, then you got to give somebody else a chance. That's just where we are. But this is always real time. As you move forward.
You think Cade's playing time moving forward will hinge on how DJ does, or is it something where you feel like maybe Cade needs to get more?
Yeah, we need to get Cade some more opportunity. He hasn't really had a lot of opportunity. We've put him in some, tough situations from time to time. He hadn't had, and that was a tough spot the other night. That's a tough play, a mistake he'll learn from. He's got a guy in the flat. You either throw it to the guy in the flat or you throw it away right there. But, just a young guy that'll learn. But we definitely, got a lot of confidence in him. He's a great young player. And but again, when you've won 14 in a row and you've got a guy that is your leader and has played well, and then all of a sudden, he had a bad game, you you don't panic. You keep moving. And now this past week, he didn't play bad, but he didn't play well, and we need him to play well. So that's kind of where we are. So it'd be a big day on Saturday for all of us, because we all need to get back. We need to coach well, and we all need to play well. It's not just DJ; it's everybody. Got to get back on track. See if we can get to 91. The only thing worse than 8-1 is 8-2. So we want to get to 91 and see if we can get back on track and be who I know we are, and do some of the things that I've seen throughout the year.
You said that Monday was going to be a really big day because you just wanted to see the look in their eyes. I guess, what did you see yesterday? Hurt
group, a mad group, disappointed, complete ownership. Saw what I wanted to see. And it's good. And, so now it's about us as coaches helping them have the right perspective, especially at a place like Clemson. As I said yesterday, the team that just beat us, Notre Dame, they got, they lost their first 2 games. There's probably a lot of criticism, a lot of disappointment, right? A lot of, but they went back to work. And you respond, and you get better. Now they've won 6 out of 7, but they still got 3 losses. Oregon lost by 46 points. Now they talking about being in the playoff. Well, they responded. So that's what good teams do. That's what good coaches do. LSU, they lost to Florida State. We beat Florida State. At their place. That happened. They got blown out at home by Tennessee, but now they're one of the better teams in the country. LSU, right? I think that's what good teams do. That's what good staffs do. You respond, and you don't think there's some criticism at a place like LSU or Notre Dame or absolutely. There's disappointment, but you have to have the right perspective as you go back to work, because if you don't, then those bad moments define you, and you can't let it do that. You gotta let it develop you into what you're capable of being as a team and as an individual player, and that's what good teams do. So it hurts because we went 10 weeks without a loss. Right? There's only 4 undefeated teams, and we made it to week 10, and we had a bad day. We won 14 in a row, and so nobody wins every game, nobody, forever. So when you have a moment like that, you regroup, you make sure you got the right perspective, because if you don't, these kids today, the world can get in them and just, paralyze them, because it's so much negativity and criticism and things like that, and that comes with it. So you got to help them have the right perspective as they get back to work, and continue to instill that belief, and and have some fun doing it. You can't let things steal your joy. You just can't. I think there's too many people in this profession, coaches and players, that allow that. Their joy is defined by what happens on a scoreboard, and I think that's just not a good thing. It's not healthy for anyone, and my joy is not defined by that. I love what I do. I love these guys. I love this team, and my joy is in just doing what I do, and I hurt, and they hurt, but you can't let the hurt be greater than the hope. Right? You gotta, it's a new day. You wake up. We all have challenges. We all have setbacks. We all have disappointment, right? And you go back to work. I watched Dusty Baker. I was telling Qualk last night. I watched Dusty Baker win the World Series, and how cool was that? Guy's 73 years old. How many disappointing moments did he have? He's probably been fired a couple times, right? And how many World Series did he coach in that he didn't win? How many playoff games did he coach in that he didn't win? How many, but why he won the World Series? Because he went back to work. Just kept going back to work. And that's what winners do. It's not that any great winner that you see, it's not that they haven't had disappointment along the way. It's just how they react to it and how they respond to it, And again, if you're made of the right stuff, it makes you better. We've had 1 undefeated team since I've been the head coach. That's it. So I just think we're at a place now where you lose a game and people lose their minds, just absolutely lose their minds, and they lose all their joy, and they hate everybody, and you need to fire everybody, and you need to get rid of every player, and it's such a negative thing that's been created with this world of social media, and it's sad, and I don't buy into that, and I don't grow weary. I grow stronger. The Bible says that. Galatians 6:9 says, "Do not grow weary from doing what is right and good, for at the appropriate time you'll reap a harvest of blessing if you don't give up." That's a big thing, and I've lived that my whole life. I don't grow weary. I grow stronger. I'm excited about having a good Tuesday practice today, and ain't nothing going to steal my joy. And I'm going to do everything I can to not let the joy be taken out of it for this football team. And if people can't get on board with that, then they're missing a lot of opportunity. If you're only going to be happy if we win the national championship, you're going to spend a lot of years down in the dumps, in the gutter. They went 35 years without winning one here. And, you're missing out on a lot of funds, all I can tell you. I know this. We're changing a lot of lives through what we do here. And, just standing here yesterday with Jarvis and Dalton and Andre Branch and Courtney, it's just confirmation for me. It was just almost like a blessing being able to spend some time with him yesterday on a day like that, and a reminder of, what it's all about. And, man, never losing perspective of that and never losing your joy in that, just we talked and had it was fun because those guys were a part of that first ACC championship team in 11. We did something hadn't been done in 20 years here, and now it's like, that's not fun anymore. And man, we got to enjoy what we're doing. And I think it's important for me as the leader of this program and these young souls and hearts that are in front of me to make sure that we help them take ownership, that we all take ownership, but learn and grow and keep striving. Because, it's fun. It's fun. And, again, good news is it wasn't the end of our season. Sometimes you lose a game and you got to wait till next year to play. We get to play again this Saturday. And we get to play in the best venue in college football right here. And we get to do it with each other. And it's a team I love, a team that really loves each other. And there's football decisions that have to be made and things that we got to do better. But, the main thing is just not growing weary. Just keep growing stronger. And if you do that, we're going to have a lot more good days than bad days. That's for sure.
What are some of the stress points that Cunningham will do to a defense?
You name it. Just last year he had a 52-yard touchdown on a little influence zone read. He gets on that sideline, he's gone. He can rip it, down the field. He can dance around and create and extend. So you have to cover forever. So he's just, and he's fearless. The last year, 4th and 1, game could be over. He makes a throw. I still don't know how they made that. I watched it again. I still don't know how they made that play. I thought he was going to run it. And, man, he just rears back on 4th and 1 and throws it right in between two people on the sideline. And his guy makes an unbelievable play on the 2-yard line, right? He's just a fearless kid. And so just got a lot of respect for him as a competitor. Everything I know about him, he's a great, great young man. And but he's you don't want to compare him to somebody, but he's like Lamar. He can beat you in every way possible. And just when you think you got him, he's gone. So really stresses how you play the quarterback, how you rush the quarterback, because obviously he's a huge part of their run game. But yet he can absolutely, they take a lot of shots. Opened up last week, shot. They're gonna rip it. A lot of misdirection, and again, just a very balanced team. So he stresses you every way you can be stressed, sideline to sideline, goal line to goal line. He's a very, very good player.
How much do you change your personnel for a QB who can extend a play? from play to play? In other words, might you go with more of a nickel look?
Yeah, we always, have packages that we carry every week and all year that, depending on down and distance, situation, scoreboard, who the quarterback is. We always have, certain personnel groupings that, we feel like we gotta have in the plan. But with a guy like this, you better have plan A, B, and C.
What was the hardest part of yesterday for your players to?
Just watching it, and taking ownership of it. Because again, you're just, some basic things, some very basic things that we didn't do, but just getting back going, picking himself up. The hardest thing is always getting back up and dusting yourself off. That's always the hardest thing, because you want to just kind of stay down, So the hardest thing is just getting back up, showing up, and let's put the tape on right here, and let's watch it as a family, and let's make sure we're all on the same page. And so it's always the hardest part when you have a loss. And again, we ain't had many losses around here, thank God. But when we've responded. You can go back to we kind of laid the foundation of the program here, 9, 10, 11, and really kind of took another step in 12 and 13, I think, and solidifying that. And then 14, we lost that South Carolina game, and then we came in here. Streeter came in. As a matter of fact, we had the Oklahoma game, and I think we went on a pretty good long run there, maybe a 17-game winning streak there, and went all the way to the national championship game, and got beat, and then we came back 16 and ended up losing a game. Then we go and win the national championship. It was really down. Well, that was a dark Sunday. Gave up about 600 and something yards. It was a bad day. Our best players, we got great players, guys, a bunch of guys playing on Sunday. It was, they had a bad day. We're people. I am not perfect. And there is no coach here perfect. There's no player here perfect. We're people. And, you especially in competition, you can have some bad moments, but you can't let them define you. There's a lot of people that do, and they don't get better. But that team did and won it all. And then come back 17, have a good year, got beat in the playoff, and then I think we went on a 29-game winning streak. And then we back-to-back national championships, and then we get back going again, and now we're coming off a 14-game winning streak after a tough little stretch there in 21. So you just keep learning, you keep growing, you're always building. That's who we are. We've won 2 national championships in 6 years, man, you keep believing in what you do. You don't put your head in the sand. You keep getting better. You know what's reality and what's perception, and you live in reality in our world. So, and you're very truthful and transparent with your players, and make sure everybody's on the right page, and again, the right perspective, and you go back to work. That's what you do. You go back to work. That's what we've always done here, and that's what we'll continue to do, and be a lot more good days ahead.
Physical part, what differentiates this bad day from some of those?
Yeah, that's the most disappointing part, because they physically beat us. Simple as that.
Tyler Davis said yesterday he thought it was a mindset.
Yeah, it's mindset, mentality. Tyler played good. I thought he played pretty good. I thought Davis. That's the thing. You have a game like that, and it's all bad. It's not all bad. Davis Allen had a great game. What a game! Kid played his heart out. Had a great game. Tyler Davis played well. But as a football team, we weren't anywhere near what we needed to be. And again, 6 turnovers in 2 games. You're lucky you're 1-1 instead of 0-2.
What was Lance Taylor like as a player? He played for you there at Alabama.
Yep.
And your thoughts on him now as the OC?
Yeah, I remember Lance. I first met Lance. He was probably, he was probably 14, maybe 15, something like that. His dad played at Alabama, and so back in those days when I was there, we would, the way we'd do camp I think it was called Patey Hall. We'd set up for camp over at Patey Hall, and I was always a part of the check-in process and all that stuff. And so the first time I met him was when he came down to camp, and we had him as a camper. And then he ended up walking on, and he just every walk on that makes it, they all have the same attributes, and he exemplified those. I mean, he was confident, he had talent, he was tough, he was an above and beyond guy, great work ethic. Just a great person, and so I had a chance. I think I was there with him 1 or 2 years. I can't remember. Maybe it was 2, so he redshirted, made redshirt freshman year, and then we got let go. So, but I kept up with him, and we've stayed in touch for years and years and years. He spent several years out with David Shaw at Stanford, and then went over to the Panthers for a little bit, but. I'm proud of him. He's done a great job, and a really good football coach. And then obviously competed against him, his time at Notre Dame as well. But he's one of the real good guys in the profession for sure.
Dabo, just saw Xavier Thomas up riding the stationary bike, and he had a very emotional post on social media apologizing to Clemson Nation. Just how is he feeling right now?
He's good. I mean, he's been encouraging to me, actually. I'm really, we don't always understand why things happen, but it's certainly disappointing. But man, he is I'm just really proud of who he is and just how mature he is, how he's grown. I mean, he is a transformed person from when I met him at 16 years of age to who he is right now as a man, and getting ready to be married, and just again has a good perspective, and life has a way of helping you have that if you're wired the right way. He's really grown in his faith. Just tremendously. I think he's really leaned on that. But he's going to be fine. I mean, it's disappointing. We're always disappointed and things don't go the way we want them to go. But as a person of faith, God's plan's always bigger than our plan, and it doesn't always line up right the way we plan it. And so. But he's going to be fine. It's not like he's dealing with, a torn ACL. It's not like he's got a situation like, with Justin. He's going to be fine. It just didn't work out the way, everybody wanted it. And he tried, man. He tried. He gave it all he had, and it just wasn't meant to be. And even how he got re-injured. He literally hurdled the back, on a Wednesday practice, but that's just, so the one thing I can say about X, he absolutely gave every ounce of everything he had. And he really, truly was doing everything he could. And just a setback, and between Dr. Martin and Dr. Anderson, and what's best for him. He could probably, come back and finish this thing out here. But then he's going to definitely have to have the surgery. And so that would, if he does go pro, it's not going to be good for him, because he needs to be at his best. And so it's just the best thing for him and where we are. And he gave it all he could, and that's all you can ask. And so, we got to do what's best for him and get him in a good spot, and then he'll make a decision. Because he's only 22. Heck, you got guys playing in college football 25 right now. So I think the quarterback of Tennessee is 25. I think there's a lot, especially with COVID. There's a bunch of 24-year-olds playing in college football. So he's still young. He's still all in front of him, and he does have an option. If he wanted to, he could come back. I'd take him back for sure. But he can go on and go pro too. I don't have any doubt he'll get drafted. Obviously, he's missed out on a lot of opportunity, and in his mind, he hasn't been able to really be the best version of himself. But he's going to be fine no matter what. But I'm really proud of who he is, the type of man that he has become, and it's all part of his journey. So he's got a bright future ahead of him, on and off the field. He's got a lot more football to play, but he's got a lot of great things coming for him in life too.
Is his option to return as simple as just having that year dangling, or is there an application, a medical hardship?
No. Everybody got a year. Except for the coaches. The coaches didn't get that free year. That clock didn't stop. But for the players, everybody, it's just like the year didn't happen, right? I mean, it happened, but it didn't happen, And so we're still kind of all processing that, because how you got to manage a roster. It's really impossible to manage your roster right now. You do the best you can, but everybody's dealing with the same thing. What if everybody came back and said, "Hey, I want to come back"? Well, it's just you got issues. And I think it'll go. What year is this? This is 20. So this is class of 23. So I think we got at least one more year of this. At least one more year. Maybe two.
If a freshman in 21 doesn't get that, but if you were a freshman in 20,
yeah, that's right.
Back,
that's right.
Get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we still. 24. Is it 24? Yeah. So we go to.
20.
Yeah.
And you could play 21, 22.
There you go. The Notre Dame guy, the smart guy, figured it out right there. So hey, speaking of, I am so offended. First of all, I've been with Tim Bourret for 20 years, and he still has not told me this, but he called my wife. And am I okay with this?
Yeah.
Okay. Tim Bourret, y'all know Kay, and this is why everything went crazy. I blame it all on Tim Bourret because he proposed at Notre Dame this weekend to Miss Kay and is going to be married. So congratulations. Yeah, you waited till Sunday, but God knew it was going to happen, and I'm just telling you, I knew something was off. I didn't know what it was. My dog died last week, 14 years. Buried my dog at 10:30 at night on Wednesday night. My stepbrother passed away Saturday morning early. We've got his funeral this Thursday. He's been battling cancer. And then we got our butts handed to us Saturday night by Notre Dame. So it was a tough week. But then I find out Tim Bourret is we've been after Tim Bourret to get married for, I guess he just finally gave up and said, well, if he broke up with her, she's getting half everything he's got at this point anyway. So, but he calls my wife and tells her, I don't get a text. I get nothing. I don't get a text. I get nothing. So, but anyway,
Kathleen would badger me more than anybody else, so she was one of the first.
She was. I thought something terrible had happened, because she goes, "You are not going to believe this," and I went, "What? Tim is engaged," and I'm like, "What?" This was Sunday night. I really wasn't in a celebratory mood, but anyway, she was so excited to tell me that, and congratulations, man. And I can't wait to see Kay, to give her a big hug, and I'm super, super, super happy for y'all. Talking about a great couple. And she's a Gamecock, so, this is a complicated, maybe that's why it took so long. I don't know, but she's come around, and she's a
cries on Clemson senior days.
She cries on Clemson senior days. She has become a great friend, and she loves the Gamecocks, but she does pull for the Clemson Tigers. So anyway, so when's the wedding day?
Well, haven't figured that out yet. This just all happened.
But she said yes, and I should ask that.
Yes.
She said yes. I love it.
Any divorce statistics?
Divorce to statistics?
Divorce's relationship with statistics.
I don't think so.
That won't be, no.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you. I don't think so. But, man, that's a really, really cool, man. That I forgot all about that. I just seeing him over there. But, yeah, so anyway, managing the roster is a challenge, but it's just a free year. There's no you just say, I'm coming back. That's all you got to do.
I think Jake Briningstool has one catch in the last 4 games. Because you're all
Yep.
trying to get DJ going. How much you think Jake might need to be
Yeah, I mean, it just, and sometimes substitutions and things. Davis on the flip side's had some big games, right? So he's a senior and he's earned that opportunity and he's taken full advantage of it. And then there's been other times where Jake's had plenty of opportunity, but just ball hadn't come his way, or he's maybe didn't do something he needed to do, but he'll be fine. Definitely need to get him going more.
Beaux Collins looked like he got shaken up the other night. Is there an update on?
Yeah, he separated his shoulder, so he's out. He'll be kind of week to week until we work him through that. See where he's at next week. I don't know.
Is that the same shoulder from fall camp?
It is. It's this shoulder. I'm not sure, honestly. I'm not 100% on that. For some reason, I think it's the other one.
Is Kobe Base back in practice?
He's working back in a little bit yesterday. So again, today and tomorrow will be big days for him to kind of just see where he is as we get into a little bit of competitive work today and tomorrow. Be big for him. But he did a lot last week. They really pushed him hard. So the goal this week was to work him back into practice and kind of see where he is from there. Not sure. He was out yesterday. He's battling an ankle as well, so we'll see.
I think because you're such a positive coach and would never throw a player or another coach under the bus, some of those loudest voices out there say, well, he just doesn't understand. He doesn't understand the issues, and he doesn't do that. But I would imagine behind closed doors, there's been some hard coaching with the assistant coaches or with the players. Do you think that sometimes people just don't grasp?
So who's saying I don't understand the
I'm
issues?
just saying some of the loudest, the people that.
Yeah. Well, I can't waste an ounce of brain power speaking to those people. I really can't. I know what our issues are. Been doing this a long time, and again, we've how many programs won 2 national championships in 6 years? How many? I don't know. How many done that? I mean, there ain't many out there. Again, it's just kind of, and nobody's got their head in the sand. We all want to be better in a lot of areas, and we're going to be. But I'm very well aware of every issue that we have. And but I also know who we are and what we're all about, and what this program is built on, and I don't flinch when it comes to. I'm led by my faith and what's right in my spirit, and when it's time for me to change something or whatever, it's usually spirit led and not internet led or fan led or anything like that. That's I wouldn't be standing here in front of you if I was driven by that type of stuff.
Any questions for Coach from Zoom?
Hey, Dabo, this is Davis from the Clemson Insider. I guess 9 games into this thing now, what would you say the identity of this offense is?
What is the identity of this offense? Well, up until 2 games ago, it was an offense that was really, really good on third down, and was still good on third down. It was an offense that was taking care of the football, an offense that was, scoring, had some explosiveness built into it. Led the nation in red zone scoring until 2 games ago, and we're still, I think, top 5 in the country. So all of those things. But again, we gotta get back to doing what we need to do. We're built to run the football, and then build off of that. I think that we've been able to do that. And we've responded, in all situations outside again this past game.
Yeah, but when Tyler Davis says that he didn't feel like the defense had the right mindset and didn't show up with the right mindset, just what do you feel like led to that? Any reason for that? Coming off a bye, going into a big game.
Yeah. I really wish I could tell you. Sometimes as a coach, as I said yesterday, you can see certain things. You maybe have a bad game and you look back and you say, yeah, well, there you go. it's what I was talking about last week in practice, and this, and that. But this isn't the case. We had really good preparation. I thought the guys were in a good place, but all I can tell you is you're dealing with people, and especially young people, and we're not immune to a bad day, and we definitely had that. But the mentality defensively wasn't anywhere what it needed to be, and we've had other days like that over my tenure here, but that was you don't ever like it when you deal with that, but it's on everyone to show up with the right mentality. This ain't middle school. Everybody's got a job to do.